Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And today we're going to tell you how we felt about the pilot for Powerless. We are a little bit late on this one. The new episode is going to air on Thursday, I think.
Well, it was just real hard to build up any enthusiasm to watch this show.
It was, yeah. We were actually on the fence about whether or not we were going to do this one. But, you know, all cards on the table. I'm not doing nearly as much with Primetime Crisis as I was. We're just doing Gotham right now. Other projects I want to work on and stuff. And frankly, some of the stuff I was watching I'm just not loving. And I don't really want to have to commit to that every week anymore. So eventually, with things like Supergirl, I will probably do like summer overviews with anybody else who watched that show and wants to talk about.
They're all going to hit Netflix the week after the season finishes.
Yeah, so we have time to do it. So summer, weirdly now, ironically, will kind of be flipped and be more the Primetime Crisis time. And with Manos like leaving S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff, Crisis is going to be a thing that you're not going to see as often, and will be kind of more spoiler cast and things, I think. So anyway, when a new show like this drops, I kind of feel the need to at least weigh in on the pilot and tell people whether or not I think your first impression they ought to watch it, and then if it's a show we like enough to go do a full season overview, or even a half-season thing, we'll do that. So anyway, that's the reason I wanted to go ahead and finally sit down and watch Powerless before the next episode comes out.
Yeah, I imagine this is like, what, an 8-episode season? Like...
Because it's like mid-season replacement time.
Yeah, it's going to be like an 8-10 episode season.
And it was kind of rushed out because apparently the premise changed a little bit when they lost the showrunner, and I'm not sure who that was, but I'm surprised that they like forced it out to you know, be out now as opposed to like
back in
the fall. And that's kind of what I expected to happen.
Back in
this snuck up on everybody. Like,
August, September, like right around when I first got here. There was a thing where it's like, they were supposed to start shooting in a week, and they just lost their showrunner.
Yeah. So I didn't think we'd see this for another year, if it didn't...
If it came out at all.
If it even got, you know, like it might have gotten canceled. And that's kind of what I thought might happen.
Yeah, and then you told me, oh, hey, Powerless comes out next week, and I was like, oh, I forgot that show was coming.
And like I said, it snuck up on me. I had no idea. So anyway, we were trepidatious about this because we heard nothing but bad things.
Yeah. Nobody had anything good to say about the show. What was the big headline quote you gave me? How not to do a sitcom.
Yeah, this is
like
a master class in how not to do a sitcom pilot. Was a review heading. I didn't read the review because I didn't want anything about the show spoiled. So our expectations, we should mention before we get started, were way on the floor for this, to the point where we didn't even want to watch it. You know, we turned this on begrudgingly. But anyway, so quick synopsis, I guess. It's the it's the background of what's going on in the DC Universe. And the DC Universe is kind of just generically comic book DC Universe. It's not what's on TV. It's not the current DC...
Rebirth.
Movies. Yeah. It's just
the DC Universe.
And there is a subsidiary of Wayne Enterprises that tries to make things to help people...
It's Wayne Securities. It seems like they make mostly like defensive kind of
to help people with collateral damage and superhero fights, and it's in a city called Charm City, which I didn't look up, but I think they might have made that one up. I don't know. The supervillain and the superhero we get in this are D-list, like super obscure things that do exist. We looked it up because at first we were both like, oh, like, you guys should use things that are there if it's supposed to be in the DC Universe. That might be fun, but they're both from late 80s Justice League Europe, which I thought was appropriate because this is supposed to be a comedy show, and that was a comedy book, so that was kind of cool that they did that. But anyway, so there's a new boss lady that comes in, and we find out that she's like the 6th or like the 5th of them, and they can't find anybody to come in and whip the inventors into shape to get anything that works. And Bruce Wayne, who of course doesn't actually show up, is going to shut the whole place down.
Although we do hear a Bruce Wayne voice.
Do we really?
Well, a Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah, we sure do. At the beginning, and I'm not sure what he was supposed to be exactly, because it sounds like
just like the voice of the company. Yeah,
and that was weird because we're looking at footage of her walking into the place, not like an actual commercial. So like,
no, it was a commercial because remember we saw the Joker.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
I hope that's a running gag.
Yeah,
I kind of don't think it will be, but of bringing him in each episode.
I'd like a commercial each episode, maybe. That could be
Of
cool.
course, this being how we felt about it's non-spoiler, and a lot of people probably aren't watching the show because the internet told them not to. So
I almost didn't watch it. You were like, "We should do that thing," and I was like, "Yeah."
I was like, but I don't want to do it by myself, especially if it sucks. Watch it with me, Eric. It's 20 minutes of your life, buddy. And he was like, okay, but you owe me one. So anyway, this episode made us feel like it's okay to laugh.
We only have one
Us.
board, and
Yes.
we came to a joint decision on this.
See, the reason is because we've been doing Marvel Mania, and we didn't want to erase this board of all these things we're counting in Marvel Mania. We didn't think ahead with this. We have 2 How We Felt Abouts to do this weekend.
But at least this one we're in consensus on, so this is both
are.
of our.
So we came up with
it
our
made
board
us feel
together, and while I was writing, Eric felt the need to contribute, so he drew what he's calling a bat symbol, but I have to use that in quotation marks. It says, it's okay.
It looks beautiful.
This makes it, yes, but it's not a bat symbol.
DC will contact me. This will be the new symbol on Batman after we get rid of the Batman Unlimited.
Are they going to make sure they have a part of it that vaguely looks like you might have done a loop on one of the ears? Is that...
It's artistic. Anyways.
This episode made us feel like it's okay to laugh even when the internet tells you not to. Like I said, I heard nothing but bad things about this. I haven't heard one person say this was really funny. Having said that, I didn't talk to anybody that watched it.
It was just kind of internet buzz.
Yeah, and what I heard from people we work with and friends online was, I'm not going to watch that, it looks terrible. I didn't think the advertising was great. There wasn't anything in the trailer that made me chuckle, really.
I didn't see the trailer. The only thing that it gave me any hope was I like a couple of members of the cast already. I like Alan Tudyk, obviously. Everyone likes Alan Tudyk. I like Danny Putty from Community. And there's someone else in the cast who I didn't know going in, but the Weird Girl.
Yeah.
She's in...
who I thought was real hit and miss. Some of her writing was really good, but I wasn't sure about her.
Yeah, she's in a movie I really like called Young Adult.
Oh, okay.
She's a weird, awkward sister in that. But I knew her from something, and
I didn't recognize anybody beyond Alan Tudyk, I don't think.
Yeah, the only one I really knew going in was Danny Putty.
But you watch more...
I watch Community.
Yeah, you watch more recent comedies than I do.
I think you would like
contemporary
Community.
stuff.
One day I'll get you to watch it.
Yeah, I'd like to. I just haven't gotten around to it. But from what you've said, that sounds like a thing I might like. Anyway, let's real quick. Let's dive into this a little bit. I didn't hate this.
No.
And I really expected to.
And we laughed.
We laughed.
We legitimately
several times,
laughed
actually.
with the show a couple of times.
And I would say between each commercial break at least twice. Mm-hmm. We laughed a little bit.
Danny Putty had a joke that legitimately I think is hilarious in the DC universe of, let me summon a wizard. Shazam! Oh, nothing.
That's really funny.
It's really funny because Shazam's a wizard and you say Shazam to call Shazam. It's really funny. It also suggests he has intimate knowledge of the DC universe in which he lives, but I thought it was really funny.
Yeah,
It's a layered joke.
The DC jokes, some of them were kind of, some of the obvious things you might go to.
But not all of them.
But it feels like the people that wrote this looked at some comics, maybe liked DC stuff. The main invention that's been skating them by being anti-Joker toxin, I thought was legitimately funny.
It was really funny because we see the guy in the streets. He's like, hey, he's like laughing, and he just injects himself, and he's fine. It was legitimately kind of funny.
I like that this isn't once again connected to anything else, and that it's just. And I thought I wouldn't like that because I was thinking, well, why don't you just do a sitcom in the CW verse? It already has some of the sensibilities anyway, and then you could have some fun guest stars in things.
This universe is too big.
Yeah, I like that. I liked it, and then we're able to reference things that we couldn't have referenced in that.
I really liked the ending gag where we talk about how, this is a spoiler, but when the device that they create, Batman uses, they're like, what are the odds that Batman would use the same thing we used?
I don't know, that seemed like the obvious place to go.
It was the obvious place, but we never see, people have to have that thought working at Wayne Industries.
Yeah, and actually, now that you say that, that is kind of clever because this is...
there must be someone sitting in the Dark Knight being like, I made that car. That looks a lot like this Tumblr thing I built.
Well, and that sort of kind of happens in Dark Knight with the guy that figures out that it was, a car that Wayne Enterprises built. But what I was going to say is, it's comic book logic where they're not allowed to make the obvious leap because they're in a comic book, and I think that's kind of fun. Like,
yeah, they're like, oh, isn't it weird that
there's some commentary on, and that's kind of a fun throwback to the way we always handled Clark Kent's secret identity in Adventures of Superman in George Reeves. It felt like kind of a callback to that, but anyway, there's some commentary on comic book logic and on contemporary comics versus Silver Age. There's
jewel robberies. Now there's supervillains trying to blow up the world and superheroes fighting each other for nebulously defined reasons.
Yeah, that's really funny. I thought that was that was kind of. I think that ought to be the crux of this show. And if they run with that, it could be a really good and really memorable show. I think this has a lot of potential. I don't think it's a great pilot or anything.
I don't think it's going to make it past the first season.
I don't think it will either.
The reception so far,
and I'm not sure why people are as hard on it as they are. A lot of sitcoms start with mediocre pilots,
and this is not it's not a great pilot, but I'm going to watch the second episode.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a little surprised by people's reaction, and I'm wondering what I missed that people are hating about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And as always, that's totally fine. I was really surprised because I expected to hate it, and again,
I expect this to be really bad.
Some of that is, well, you go in with preconceptions, you think you're not going to laugh at all, and then there's jokes that I found funny, and I'm laughing.
But it was right off the bat. Like, it didn't take us. Like, it wasn't even like oh, we had to warm up to it, and like halfway through, like we started laughing. Like, immediately we were laughing at certain things.
Tonally, it is really Barry Sonnenfeld, especially in the soundtrack and in coloring and stuff.
In a certain way, I thought this specifically with the opening scene.
It's very live action.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like the live action Tick from the eyes of someone else.
Yeah. Which is odd because, of course, that show was already a not action-driven sitcom, but it was about
and they're pushing those boundaries. They don't have the budget for it, but man, they are trying to make this feel like a real superhero.
And you know
show.
what? I don't even mind the crappy effects and stuff. Yeah. Now, it being the pilot, we probably won't keep seeing that stuff or at least. If it goes off the Tick model, because the Tick had that big stuff, and then
that's true.
After that, they have to be looking at that show a little bit.
They must be.
Think about it; it's the only superhero live action sitcom we've ever had that I am aware of.
Modern Family, or whatever that family show was.
Ordinary Family was not a sitcom.
Was it not?
No.
Oh, I just assumed.
It was an hour drama with comedic elements.
Okay.
Was not at all a sitcom.
Okay.
Which it might have worked out.
I like that this is a half hour.
If it had been, yeah. But yeah, it is a lot like the Tick. I don't think it's as funny as that pilot.
No. No.
But they're definitely taking their cues from that a little bit. I wish they'd bring Barry Sonnenfeld in to work on this a little bit, because like not 2-3 minutes in, I was thinking this wants tonally to be like Pushing Daisies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just the Tick, there were like music cues and stuff and camera pushes and things where I was like, they're trying to make something that feels like early 2000s comedies.
Yeah, I kind of got
and again, that's also Barry Sonnenfeld, so I mean, like those things are connected, but the Tick has a very different flavor from that, and both of those things were here, which I was a little bit surprised
by. And there's dumb jokes I shouldn't have thought were funny that are just well-timed.
Yeah. It's weird. There's some badly delivered good, or some not so great delivered good writing, and then there's some well delivered, not so great writing.
The balls joke shouldn't work. The delivery and the timing of that joke made it funny. We both laughed.
I was surprised that it didn't go to too obnoxiously of an adult place. I expect
there's a couple of words
and
I
wouldn't
down the road
that would do that, but.
Put in this.
Oh, really?
There's one that Alan Tudyk keeps saying that I'm just like, I don't want that.
You'll have to tell me later, because I'm not sure what you're talking about.
It's not really a curse word, but I like saying the word. I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
There is a word I don't like saying, apparently.
I love all the non sequitur stuff with him.
Yeah, I love that he was looking at katanas on the computer for no reason.
Well, and you notice that's an ongoing gag, that he just has random hobbies that he's wasting his time with because he doesn't want to actually work, and he's just and his whole thing is he's trying to coast entirely on his name. And so he doesn't work, he doesn't do anything. There's kind of some. Kind of in an obvious way with a sitcom, but there's a social class thing there.
And there's a joke that he makes that I think might be a jab at BVS, and if it is, that's really funny.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure if it was.
I think it might be.
But I kind of like the idea of, because a lot of people looking at the trailer were like, oh really, Bruce Wayne's cousin Van Wayne, that's stupid. But I like the idea of, but like, it's a sitcom. It's like in the context of it, it's stupid in the right way. I think.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be what Bruce Wayne would be if he had no responsibility and hadn't had.
And I'm kind of waiting.
So I think it's kind of fun that you got a guy with Wayne money that is actually inadvertently helping Batman.
And if this show goes long enough,
That's
we will
fun.
find out he is not actually a Wayne.
You think?
Oh yeah,
Oh, that would be really.
he's
funny.
not really a Wayne.
You think so?
I'm sure.
That would be great. One thing I'm kind of excited about is that we know we're going to keep getting references to, like, major characters and stuff, and all of the... And you're going to have a lot of characters that come in and out that aren't those big characters. I don't think we should ever do that in this show. Like actually bring in any heavy hitters. I think it's totally fine in this context to keep everything totally in the background. The next episode is about a Riddler henchman. I'm excited for that. That could be really funny.
Yeah, it could be really funny.
I like talking about all of these characters that are in the comics that we don't ever get to actually see, because it's supposed to be live-action background of print comics, and so we shouldn't see those characters.
The intro's amazing.
The intro is fantastic, and it looks like it was made by people with reverence for this material.
Yep.
I
I feel like the show feels like that.
Yeah,
It
we're real
feels like-
mousy right now. We're saying things
It
we're not
feels
allowed
like
to
people
say.
that
Like,
made this show like comic books. Yeah, it's weird. Everyone said this was awful. I feel like these are the kinds of jokes that, like, comic book fans make about, like...
is it just because it's another show that is sort of about major DC characters but isn't allowed to bring them in? Because I don't think you can hold it to those standards.
No, because this show would have been that in any... Like, there's any version of this show I feel like is this.
Yeah,
Like, if they had carte blanche, I feel like they would... Like, you don't open your show with
This
that.
is very much what I kind of expected a Damage Control Marvel show to be like.
This is exactly... Well, I mean... Yeah, this is basically...
If you made it
in
a
the
sitcom.
ballpark. Yeah, this is in the ballpark.
If you made it one of those sitcoms that could almost have a laugh track, if it was only 20 years ago, it would have a laugh track.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you mentioned that intro, because that was super cool.
Yeah. I liked it. I'm feeling it.
I'm really surprised I'm saying
Yeah,
that. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't know if my standards are in the floor. I really enjoyed this. Again, it's not brilliant or anything.
No, it's not. It's not
You know,
super original and genius, but I liked it.
The characters are pretty standard sitcom stereotypes.
But the jokes are funny, and that's all that I care about in a sitcom.
And it feels like it's, and not just that they're funny, that it's made for us.
It's real comic book jokes.
And it's kind of making that work. I hope they go to some slightly more deep pulls here and there.
Wow. Yeah.
To use one of your phrases.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool if because most of the people that are watching this are probably gonna be people that would get that stuff, and you could do it and you could throw that at us in such a way where you're not leaving people out too much either. I think like that Shazam joke. I don't know if that's funny to anybody that doesn't know what Shazam is.
Yeah, or at least on the level that like I laughed at it, where I was like, because Shazam's a wizard! Ah!
But maybe
I think most people are just like, well, that's a superhero. He made a superhero joke.
I'm not going to call that well, but some people might not even know that that's what that is at all. I'm not going to call that a layered joke, but his delivery is funny.
Yeah.
So even if you don't get the joke, the way he says it might make you chuckle too. But anyway,
I thought it was a layered joke. I in fact described that joke as having layers. Not 5 minutes ago.
I didn't want to give it that much credit.
For,
no, I'm sorry. I forgot you said that. I'm only disagreeing with you after the fact. You're here. You can defend yourself. Anyway, everybody, thanks as always for.
I hope that's the thumbnail.
See, if I was wearing that suit, you'd get one punch and I'd be fine. But then another punch. Anyway, everybody thanks as always. Oh, and we're maybe giving away. The LexCorp joke was funny.
Yeah.
Anyway,
because I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I like that.
If people read comics. Thanks a lot for watching. We sure appreciate it. Let us know if you saw this, what you thought of it, and if you think we're dead wrong. And we will talk to you again with more videos this week. We're going to have another couple How We Felt Abouts this weekend. Actually, we may have the record this week. There will be a total, if everything works out, of 4. Yeah, which is nuts. We are actually just about to leave right now to go see a movie. Should we mention what it is?
Yeah, because no one's going to know what it is when the video goes up.
We're going gonna go see a movie called The Founder, which is Michael Keaton playing the founder of McDonald's, and we're very excited to see that. And we have to leave right now, actually, or we might not get there in time. So thanks a lot for watching. And then over the weekend, of course, there's
John Wick and
Lego Batman. So anyway, thanks for watching. We will see you again real soon with more videos. I am Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric. Oh, it's so bad. I'm so bad at bat symbols. I'm really bad at bat symbols.
Hey, Dad, can I be on the video?
Just right here.
No, because you didn't watch much of that show. What is that? What is that? An inflatable...
It's a bat symbol.
Okay, you just keep telling yourself that. Can I finish this board, please? No, dude, I got
it's a bat.
I gotta write it.
Keep writing here.
Yeah, but...
That's my bat symbol.
I know.